So one of our last videos was all about Chaturbate affiliate program and how you could make a passive income every month using that. And if you haven't checked that out, definitely check here. But today, I want to follow up on a lot of questions that we got on our NZT 48 sister site, Together We Can, and that was all about how you can drive traffic to this, because obviously it's very easy to set this thing up and get it in motion, but getting traffic, registrations and actual payouts can be quite unnerving at the start because you don't know how to begin. So we're going to cover that in today's video right after this. Hi, I'm Jason and welcome to another NZT48.com video. But of course today we're going to be focused on our sister site Together We Can and focused once again on the seedy underbelly that is the adult content side of the web. Now in our previous post, as I mentioned, we spoke about how you can set up your own adult cam site using Chaturbate's affiliate network, and it's very easy to do to set up that white label, and you'll find a link to the article and video in the description. But today I want to talk to you about how you can drive traffic to this. So one of the ways that I'll be covering throughout the week is going to be using social media such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. There's a lot of ways to get around or kind of subvert their methods of stopping this kind of content by just doing it a little bit more clever and more clever, it's not a word. Oh well, we'll continue filming. But I'll move on, and I want to do in-depth Instagram, Facebook and Twitter methods for that later on. But today I'm going to talk to you about the first thing that you should do, which is setting up your own content strategy. Now the reason for this is if you haven't already set up the analytics and Google Search Console for your new site, then you should go ahead and do that, and I'm going to link in the description how to get that started now from togetherwecan.com as well. However, the reason that you need to do this primarily before you do anything else is a simple one. So basically your new campsite cannot be indexed by Google. Now there's a good reason for this, and it's that Chaturbate don't want someone with a big budget to be able to just take their system, rank it up on Google Ads and actually outdo them with their own system on Google and take the commissions without them earning. So it would subvert their own marketing strategy, and that's why they do that. Now one of the ways to get around that is to either create a subdomain of your new campsite, so blog.mycampsite.net or models.mycampsite.net, whatever it is, or you can buy a whole new domain, and then you're basically filtering traffic through this content strategy, capturing data, capturing users and bringing them across. Now this content can be whatever you want, so you can go ahead and buy a new domain for that as well and run them as two separate entities. They're both good options. I personally prefer to run it as a separate entity because then you have the added benefit of being able to earn more than just your Chaturbate affiliate on that website. So let's jump into some strategy and some things that you can and can't do without going through different channels. So for example, hosting and payment, as well as certain affiliate networks, you're not going to be able to put on your new content site. You're not going to be able to use certain hosts and so on. So I'll go through all that in a minute, but first I want to run through why you should do a content strategy. So the main reason you should do a content strategy is to get organic traffic over time. So the reason I say this is because like I said already, your campsite cannot be indexed by Google. So what you want is Google to be able to index your other site that can eventually drive traffic over time. So by creating content over the course of 6 to 12 months, what you're doing is you're building up a bulk and a mass of things that Google can go through and decide to show to people based on relevance. So if you pick your niche, so for example, let's say that you really enjoy Japanese cams. You can set up a whole content site around the Japanese camming industry, the Japanese porn industry, all these different things, write content around it, share videos, share tips, share hints, share trending items, all this sort of thing. And then you can tell people on that site if they'd like to see more, head to your cam site. If they'd like to buy a specific thing, head to your affiliate. So you're not just able to drive them to Chaturbate affiliate, but that is the main point of this site. The reason that that's a great idea is because if you've already set up a campsite like you saw in the previous video, which I'll once again pop up here and in the description, you're probably finding that you're going to have to work on this daily, and that's not what you wanted with a passive income. That's a chore. Whereas if you do what we did, which is get these sites indexed on Google over the course of a few months, then Google is pushing organic traffic at your site at all times, which means that you can put in a year or 2 years work, or maybe less depending on how good you are at this, and over time you're just getting free traffic sent. It's generating an income through Chaturbate, and every month you're just getting a paycheck for doing essentially nothing. You're putting the work up front, and then you're gaining in the long term, which is in essence a passive marketing strategy. Another good reason to do this, and one that we've come across, is if, for example, you've decided that your strategy is to share out certain models with your audience. You're probably noticing, or you will notice, that your audience is going to get quite annoyed when you've shared it out at a time that that model's online, and then they've clicked it at 1 o'clock in the morning when they've gone to do their thing and found that that cam is now offline. Now you think to yourself, that's fine, they can just click the chat rooms and they can move on, but people's attention spans these days is so short. So what you want them to do instead is to go to your content site that tells them about the girl, maybe has an interview if you can get it, or has some pictures that are free to use from there, or just a description with her schedule and that kind of thing, so that they know what they're getting into. And if they find that, oh, she's not online right now, and they see that in your schedule, they will browse your site for others instead of just getting annoyed and going back to Google search and going somewhere else. So that's another advantage of this. The third big advantage is that you can also gain traffic through subscriptions. So you can entice people on your content site to add their email address to your website. You can then capture that and you can do follow-up email strategies. So maybe they didn't register, they didn't come back to your site, but you can market them that way as well. And this works also with a lot of share a sale, for example, affiliates. So if you want to learn more about that, there's an affiliate marketing video I've done here, and you'll also find the share a sale link in the description below. But basically you can gain commissions from people clicking links on your site. So you can go on and sell people things like VPNs, which you'll need in certain countries to access your campsite. You can sell them different toys. You can advertise your My Free Sex Store if you've set that up already. There's lots of different ways you can gain extra content from it. So those are the primary reasons that using a content strategy makes sense. And the last thing I'll say on this is consistency is key. So if you only have time to write a blog post or create a video or do a podcast for your new site once a week, that's fine, but stick to that once a week. Don't do once a week and then drop off to once a month, and then go back to 5 days a week and then once a week. Just pick a schedule where you're going to write and stick to it. That is the key here. Consistency over intensity, like everything else in life. So the next thing I need to cover is, where can you host this? Now, there is only one place that I would recommend, and that is vicetemple.net. You'll find a link in the description below. And the reason for this is GoDaddy, Bluehost, SiteGround, all of these companies, their terms of service do not allow adult content. And even if you're not going to show nudity on your site, you're kind of on that gray area and you're going to get yourself in a little bit of trouble or get taken down. And that's the last thing you need for your Google rankings. And especially if you get taken down 6 months, 7 months in, and you've done all this work and now it's gone, it's for naught. So I would head straight over to Vicetemple. They have a $5 starter plan and you can scale this up over time. Also, if you're already running some other things, I've moved a lot of my stuff on there anyway. The help is really good and the servers are really quick. And they specifically advertise for adult content, so you're not going to have this issue. So that's who I would recommend, absolutely. The next thing I would let you know is, if you're doing affiliates through Share a Sale or whatever, that's fine. They're paying you through PayPal, so you don't need to worry about the payment end of it. However, if you are selling something else adult content wise, bear in mind that PayPal do not support this. So much like gambling, alcohol, firearms, and adult content, PayPal don't support this, Stripe don't support this, and most of these payment gateways don't support this. So the only way that you can sell your own products, for example, adult-based, is through Paxum. Now again, you don't need to worry about this if you're just selling affiliates or you're just linking to your campsite, but if you're planning to sell content, for example, or allow people to sign up as models on your site and sell their pictures privately or the videos privately, then you are going to need to use a service like Paxum. You're not going to be able to use anywhere else. So that's a quick overview. I'll put a link in the description to more content on this, and tomorrow I'm going to be talking about how to gain registrations, and then the next day we're going to be talking about how to get big spenders for your adult site. We'll also be doing more videos based on nzt48.com, which are all about passive incomes not in this adult space. And you'll find a link to that website in the description below as well. We also have a network of SEO and content strategies, so do stick around, and if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. One thing you will find with these videos, I don't like to edit them too much. I just enjoy talking really quickly, giving you the information you need to start earning money now without the fluff. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow.